Recently, I had a buddy over and we got to somehow talking about Transformers. Big surprise, I know, but listen, it actually was. Because we never talk about that stuff, it's just my hobby. I don't like to bore people. But he was actually really interested in my robots and he had a couple questions. After I showed him what all the different size classes were and explained what some weirdos like Magmatron were up to, he asked an important question I've never actually really thought about before. What's your most fun Transformer? It got me thinking, which has the best implemented gimmicks? Who should I show him to show this newcomer how impressive and fun these things can be? Even as I said it, the answer kind of surprised me, but it made perfect sense. You've seen the thumbnail, you know what I'm on about. I'm Gary the Gremlin, but I can't deal with that now because today we're talking about the incomparable Siege Jetfire. And I know this is sometimes a topic of debate, so I'm nipping it in the bud. I'm squashing it right now. This is Jetfire. Skyfire is a sillier sounding name. I can't exactly explain why, but it is. It's always been, and you know it is. My channel, my rules. We say Robot, and the big guy is named Jet, like the Wings song, or like Benny and the, well, yeah. And Jet's got a sort of unique place in Transformers history. Not only was he the subject of a lot of legal debates, but he established his own size class when he rocketed up onto the 2018 War for Cybertron Siege scene. G1 Jetfire is kind of all over the place in scale. I'm sure there's screenshots that could argue that either Core or Voyager Starscream are perfectly in scale with him. For my purposes, he does wonderfully. Jetfire is one of my favorite Transformers characters. And now, he's one of my favorite toys. It's like Christmas every day with this guy. He's the real loser of the Cybertronian Civil War, isn't he? He got stuck in ice for a millennia and woke up to find out that his best friend was pure evil. That's actually so heartbreaking. This toy version looks like he's not bothered, however. He's got an expression icy enough that you need a scarf. And our first feature, no less. Shine a light behind his dome and witness some of the most spectacular light piping this side of the Milky Way. Well, this side of the Milky Way doesn't make sense. We're in the Milky Way. It's good light piping. There's some great neck articulation. His neck has a joint while also being on this little table that hinges, meaning he can look really far up, and a swivel means he's got the full 360 degrees, of course. And look at those shoulders this head rests on. The details here astound. Batteries, rivets, pipes, vents, and diodes packed to the brim behind this clavicle. All this detail, he almost looks like he's not even from Transformers. More like a Gundam, or maybe even a Macross fighter. Huh, weird. All these panel lines and parts makes it seem like he's actually capable of transforming. Which he is, yeah, but keep it in your pants, we'll get there when we get there. Our second feature of the evening is the cutest little thing. Pushing on the corner of his Autobot badge, you can rotate it around to convert him into a right rat bastard. That's the last you'll see of this, though Jet is a nice guy in this household. He's got such a friendly demeanor. Those big weird round shoulder pads, the chunky proportions, the white color scheme, he's one of the good uns for certain. His hands have the most fabulous, ingenious design that I'm really surprised hasn't been used more times. While you close his fists, this port rotates into place, allowing him to hold any of his mini weapons. And just you wait, we'll get there. This guy has got so many guns, I promise you, he has the whole Second Amendment memorized. Unfortunately here, I gotta break it down for you.
I'm going to turn into a truck now. Birch church a church, a ding ding church. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin.
No, shut up Prime, we're talking problems. This port that keeps his hand in is real loose. You always gotta make sure to hold this gray panel down while you move his hand, or otherwise it will always swing open. Kind of weird that it can even open this far because it's not necessary at all for transformation. That's the last feature of this robot mode, and damn wasn't it a good one. The articulation on him is something great too, really setting the standard for what Commander class could do. In fact, I don't think there's any Commander as articulated as this guy, so he might have set the bar a little too high. We've already covered the amazing neck and hand articulation, but surprisingly, for a jet former, he's got a waist rotation. It's not a full rotation, it's a little hindered by that clothes hamper of a backpack, but the fact that it's still there is great. His double joint elbows can get in real deep, and his shoulder can rotate and go out really far. Sometimes the shoulder will awkwardly detach from the body as you do this. It's just another case where you might want to use a little bit more care. The legs are a bit basic, just 90 degrees on the bend everywhere, but the thigh swivel and that anchor rocker are great. These are also kind of the worst part of the figure, however. The outward swing is very, very loose. Sometimes it can make standing him in anything but a good old stoic A-frame stance a little hard. Not bad for playing, but maybe frustrating for when you're filming a review and handling the figure for over an hour. And here's where the fun really begins. He's got 11 accessories, which is actually 16 if you count how the blast effects and rifle split apart, and actually 18 if you count how these guns split into separate blasters and shields. Guys, it's a lot here, try not to get overwhelmed. First, this amazing rifle. It starts as one, but you can split them apart and flip down this handle to let him double wheel. If that's not enough, bring in this alternate chest piece, flip out the panel, grab this mask, and armor him up using these flip out tabs on his chest to make him really look like a Valkyrie fighter. These smaller black guns can plug onto him, the smaller ones on these posts and the bigger ones on the side of his backpack. And really guys, as if there wasn't enough detail already here. As if. Around the back of his legs, there's these amazing panel details in the most amazing gunmetal color. A lot of this guy is that color, and I really love it. The only thing color-wise I'm not digging is the strange way the thigh panel fades into a matte gray. Nowhere else on this guy is there details like this. I'm not sure exactly why this is here. No big silly robot is ever complete without transforming, however, so let's get right on to doing that. I know I don't usually show the transformation in any detail, but here we kinda gotta talk about it because it's the return of the features. Two really interesting things here. Arms crunch on up, and then as you pull out and extend the cockpit, his head folds up through these spring-loaded trapdoors. That's pretty fun, and it's sort of an automorph feature, though not really. Second is a really hidden one, as I don't think it's even mentioned in the instructions or nothing. After you open up the legs and compress those, you open up the backpack to attach these boosters to each other. While you're doing that, you reveal even more details, and I know, I've had enough too, just bear with me. There's 2 pilot seats big enough for Titan Masters. That's completely amazing, as it's backwards compatibility with a previous line. I don't have any Titan Masters on hand, so just imagine. Finish that transformation by swinging out those wings and unfolding them, and Bob's your uncle, he's done. First feature real quick, because it's going to make displaying him a lot easier. He's got some fold-out landing gear complete with pinned wheels. He's also got this giant port for a masterpiece-sized stand, but I haven't got any, so you're going to have to use your amazing imagination once again. And this jet is so swish. I mean, it's not. It looks like a Winnebago with wings, but still, it's great. It may look a little chunky, but it holds together fine. I love Jetfire's alt mode so much. It's pretty unique. It doesn't look like anything else. It stands completely on its own. It's like Cyclonus. It's a nonsense ship that makes perfect sense. It's just one of him. He turns into a Jetfire. Opening the nose, you can pull out this massive engine block, and oh my gosh, it's imagination time again. Can't you just see a Titan Master in there? Yeah, I gotta get on what you're smoking. I don't see one at all. This isn't a listed feature anywhere, but if you pull out those previous chest flaps, they kinda look like loading doors to me. Call me crazy, but are those little sculpted details supposed to be seats? If that's true, that would completely throw the scale of this off. Those blaster effects can attach to any 3mm port, but we're going to put them around the back because that's where it looks best. All those weapons and armaments come back to be this ugly hunk and attach up on the top. You can individually armor him with them still, and that looks a little bit better. And for our last feature for this evening, sliding down on these hip skirts and folding out these handles allows for some places for his Autobot buddies to hold on as they swoosh into battle. This is really cute and really the cherry on top of this Cybertron Sunday. Siege Jetfire, my beloved. He's kind of the most impressive figure in my collection, even after all this time and all these figures. He's the most fun Transformer I have, the worthiest of buying, I think. In all ways, he's the centerpiece of a collection. There are bigger guys, and pricier guys, and flashier guys. But Jetfire here is the most fun. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really did, like, subscribe, and most important of all, comment below. No, really, I mean, likes are great and subscribers are better, but if you actually want to help my channel grow, commenting as well as sharing it with a friend is the best thing you can do. First, it boosts me in YouTube's very confusing algorithm, and more importantly, it lets me get to talk directly to you. I'd like to hear what you thought about the video, the figure, and what you want to see reviews of next. I'm Gary the Gremlin, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.
I'm going to turn into a truck now. Birch, church, a church, a ding ding church. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin.